Well, I don't know about you, but I am a huge fan of the Queen. And I'm absolutely delighted that she's given two addresses to the nation over the last few weeks. One, of course, was a very special one, dealing with the whole situation that we're facing right now. But the second one, which I thought was excellent, was the one on Easter Day, when she encouraged us to see hope in the resurrection. Isn't it wonderful to have a queen who is ready and willing to go public and talk about the resurrection as a fact of history? Now, I said I'm a fan of the Queen, but I haven't really seen that much of her in real life. I saw her once when I was a student. She was opening our new university library, and I caught a glimpse as she went past. But then, more recently, as a member of the General Synod of the Church of England, I saw her and Prince Philip at the opening of the sessions of General Synod, and they were quite close to me. It was quite a privilege. But I've never actually had a conversation with her, nor yet with Prince Philip or even Prince Charles. I feel like I know them because I've seen them on television, I've read about them, and they're kind of always around. But I've never actually had a real conversation with any of them. Now, we serve a God who is even greater than our Queen, or Prince Philip, or any of the royal family. In fact, if you think of the greatest person in the world you can imagine, then our God is even greater than them. This God is the God who not only sustains the universe day by day, but the one who created it out of nothing. He is such a powerful and great God. And yet, this God allows us to bring him all our fears, all our phobias, all our insecurities, all our worries. Not only does he allow us to, he encourages us to. Now, there are a lot of fears and anxieties and worries going on at the moment. Of course there are. And I hope that you have, each of you, taken the time to take your concerns to the Lord. He is never going to turn you away. He will welcome you with open arms. But Mark, you say to me, I'm not really very good at praying. It's not something that comes naturally, and I feel a bit self-conscious or a little bit embarrassed by it. Well, if that is you, then you're not alone. There are many people that feel that way. And even for clergy, it takes practice and it takes time to learn to pray. Even for the disciples, it took time to learn to pray. In fact, they asked Jesus himself how they should pray. Look at Luke chapter 11. We read these words. Now, Jesus was praying in a certain place, and when he finished, one of his disciples said to him, "Lord, teach us to pray as John taught his disciples." So Jesus was setting the example. He was seen praying, and one of the disciples asked him, "Teach us to pray." I wonder if that disciple was expecting some kind of magic formula or special way of praying, a kind of secret way to pray that would get the answers you wanted. But Jesus responds like this. He said to him, "When you pray, say, 'Father, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Give us each day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we ourselves forgive everyone who's indebted to us. And lead us not into temptation. We know these words as the Lord's Prayer, because the version we use is very slightly different from this, because it takes into account Jesus' teaching of the Lord's Prayer in Matthew's Gospel as well. But nonetheless, they're prayers, they're words that we all know very well. When I was at school many years ago, we used to say this prayer regularly together at school assemblies. Sadly, it's no longer the case, and many of our children are growing up not knowing the Lord's Prayer. If you've got children or grandchildren, teach them the Lord's Prayer. Teach them to pray. But that's another issue. The point here is that Jesus is expressing in simple words that the disciples could understand how to pray. Now, it's not that difficult, is it? If you have difficulty coming to God and sharing your needs and issues, insecurities, difficulties with Him, why not start simply by praying the Lord's Prayer? You can find it here in Luke chapter 11, or you can find it in Mark's Gospel in chapter 6 of Mark, or you can find it in a prayer book or any other worship books, many other worship books. It's very easy to find. Why not sit down and start to pray the Lord's Prayer? And if you struggle to pray and you struggle to bring the needs of the world before God, why not begin with the Lord's Prayer? You could do a whole lot worse, you know. Teach us to pray, said the disciple. And Jesus said, when you pray, say, Father, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Give us each day our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, for we ourselves forgive everyone who's indebted to us. And lead us not into temptation. Amen. And if you want to join me in prayer every morning, I'm streaming morning prayer every morning at 8 o'clock, and we have a good prayer time together. Do join me then if you can. May God bless you.